Welcome to Live, Let, Thrive, a podcast about the Airbnb life, the share economy, and everything in between. Here are your hosts, Micah and Steve.
Hello.
And welcome back to another exciting episode
of Live,
Let
Thrive. What is up, Micah, man?
I'm chilling, Stevie Stacks. How you doing?
Oh, recovering from whatever crud I had this past week. But I'm back at it, trying to get healed up and ready to go because short-term rentals don't rest, Micah.
No, they don't. Did you have the bid?
I don't even check anymore. I don't give a shit. That shit's oh man.
No, I'm
Probably, right? Who knows? But so yes, sir. This is episode 226 of your favorite Airbnb, VRBO, short-term rental, mid-term rental, long-term rental podcast in the world, coming at you from Arlington and Fort Worth, Texas.
What it do, man?
What it do? Brought to you by our own damn companies, because we don't have commercials on here, but we promote ourselves, right? rjstrentals.com. Go check out me and go, I'll make you a lot of money on your places, on your short-term rentals. And Micah has sharebnb.com, right, Micah?
Yes, sir. But yeah,
hit us up.
Yes, sir.
Shameless self-promotion. Sorry about that. You gotta get that money, yo.
Yes, sir. So speaking of that, man, how's the business growth going on the Argis Rental side?
Argis Rentals. We having a great October. The September slide, the September whatever you want to call it, the September drop is past us, and we're doing a great October. November looks like it's stacking up pretty good. We're in 2022, folks, if you didn't know that. And so it's looking good as far as the growth. We're going to add another property this week as far as to manage. Our cleaner's picking it up. I hooked my cleaner up with a property, and we're going to manage it for her, which that always works out good. And what else we got? We put in an offer for one of the properties we were arbitraging over there in Oak Lawn. And so we're putting in. She went ahead and listed it, and we went ahead and put in an offer. Right now is a good time to shop. Right now, guys, if you didn't know, I know interest rates are high. Don't be scared of that too much because those go up and down, right? And so you could always refi in the future when they drop again. And you don't have any competition. I'm going and checking out places, and there's nobody there. There's no line of cars waiting to see this place. And hey, we got to be there at 3:15 because there's a showing at 3:20 and a 2:25. No. Take as long as you want. There's nobody coming. There's nobody.
It's a true
good time to shop. So I mentioned it before. We mentioned it before on the show that if you could form a good relationship with someone that you're arbitraging from, you could possibly pick up the you could buy it. You could purchase the property, and that's what we're looking to do. We put in an offer for it, and I'll tell you a little tidbit on that. This particular condo, right? It made great money for us, so we know it's a producer. Here's the thing: when we were gonna buy it, this particular HOA, I know you love HOAs, Mike, have this rule where you have to live in it first for a year. Whoever buys it has to live in it first for a year before they can turn it into a rental property, right?
Yeah.
And so that deterred us, first of all, because I didn't know exactly. Well, because I was like, oh, I can't live in that place, right? I wanted to buy it as a arbitrage. I mean, as a short-term rental, whatever. But I didn't want to. I can't live there. I live here. I have my house and stuff. And so because she had offered to sell it to me before she listed it, right? And I was just we're gonna go without agents. Boom, boom, boom. Here's the price, and that would have been good. But we said, well, I don't think we could make the deal happen because I can't live there. And anyway, so long story short, she went ahead and listed it, and then Fede finds out that he's gonna get his visa. Federico, my partner in Argis Rentals, he's gonna get his visa. He's in Argentina, and they're gonna be here probably in November, right?
Let's go.
They're gonna be here in November, and I was like, dude, we can. And his wife, U.S. citizen, She already has a credit score because I added her to my trade lines, and then boom, instantly she got a credit score, and now she can be on the mortgage with me buying the place. I was like, well, there you go. Y'all can be on the mortgage, and then y'all can live in it the first year, and then after that we'll turn it into a rental because we know it's a great rental.
Yeah.
And so that was the workaround, but she had already listed it, but whatever. We're still gonna, go do our back and forth and try to get this thing closed because I don't think a lot of people are shopping for condos right now. Anyways, long story longer. so that's the thing. And what's helping us is it's keeping a lot of investors away from trying to buy this place because investors see the potential in it, but the thing is they can't fulfill that living in it for a year, right? An investor would have to make $0 for that first year. I don't know what the hell how they would do it, but they can't turn it into a rental for the first year. But we found a way that we're able to do that. So
are you putting down 3.5% to 5%?
No, we're gonna put down the 20. We're gonna put down the 20 because we're trying to buy it based on the business. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna be on the loan too, but we're gonna try to buy it based on the business, and instead of like her like. I talked to my. Yeah. I asked my lender that. The thing is, I'll be the primary because I have all the the credit and the history and stuff like that. She has credit. She don't have a job or nothing yet, right? So she can't be the primary on the loan.
She don't need to be as long as she's living in it. We did that with my brother.
How so?
Put down 5% as long as he moves into it and he's on the loan. It's owner occupied.
So you did you are both on the loan.
Yeah, if they're both on the loan and one of them moves in, it's now owner occupied. You can put down 3.5% to 5%.
Really?
If your lender goes against that, get a new lender. Because right now, and I was going to talk about this, lenders, and I'd be careful with lenders and real estate agents right now. Because shit tightens up, they start slinging bullshit.
Dude, I'm getting called like 24/7, man, from lenders.
And I can vouch for that because my neighbor, he's in a situation where he has a 2-story home. He's getting older and he's trying to sell it. He came to me and he was asking about getting rental properties. And he was like, he's going to sell his house. And I'm like, this ain't a good time to sell your house. I'm like, he's going to sit for one, and two, everything in our neighborhood, like they're going down 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. I'm like, you ain't going to get what you're going to get for your house. And he was like, I was thinking about that. And he was like, I was thinking about renting it. But he goes, man, that fear kicked in. He goes, if I rent it out for 3,000, because he only owes like 90 on it. Shit, the house worth like 400. So he was like, if I rent it out, but then the tenant backs out, if it's a bad tenant, I'll be stuck paying him by myself. So I told him I gave him this option. I was like, this is an option you can go with. I'm like, it's a 4-bedroom house. You could do Section 8 on it because it's in Arlington. I'm like, you could do Section 8 on it, make guaranteed money, and they have to take care of the place. And if they don't take care of the place, call housing authority. And I was like, I can look out for him because it's right across the street from me. But his real estate agent goes and tells him, oh, yeah, man, we just had a house listed at 380 and we sold it for 420. I was like, I don't think that's true, man. And then he was like, yeah, he pulled it up. And then that was like 2 months ago he did this in the middle of August. I'm like, market shifted, man. I'm like, that ain't what's going on no more. So, yeah, man, lenders, I'm not saying lenders are bad, but make sure you get like, at this point, I do have an in-house lender. So like lenders and real estate agents, man, they got to keep their head above water. So, they got to, I ain't going to say they got to make certain moves. But yeah, I think you can get a 3.5% to 5% down on that, man. That's owner occupied.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look into that.
Yeah, because even if you're doing it through the business, I mean, unless you're trying to do a DSCR commercial loan to make sure it's commercial, but if it ain't that, then yeah, do it 3.5%, 5% down.
So you trying to get some Section 8 neighbors?
Yeah, Section 8 ain't that bad. People have that stipulation about Section 8, but if you have if you know what you're doing, Section 8 that bad. Section 8's bad if you're dealing with slumlords.
No, I'm saying you're trying to get some Section 8 neighbors across the street from you.
Yeah, I was told how to do it. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, especially if you have like a 4-bedroom house, man, government will cash you the hell out. So, but yeah, it's just so many options, especially with Airbnb not, being viable over here in this area in short-term rentals, unless you're going to do fully furnished. But his damn house is too big. I was like, you could rent it by the room, but yeah, that house is kind of big and it's hella nice. He put some work into that house. But Yeah.
Once you buy it from subject to.
It wouldn't work. I mean, it wouldn't work for what he's trying to do. He wants to, he doesn't want to sell it. I was advising him not to sell it. I'm like, don't sell it. I'm like, this ain't just the time to do that. Plus, he's a close friend. I wouldn't want to sub to that. I'm like, man, keep it. You have grandkids, pass that on to them. So, yeah, man. It's just so many ways. But yeah, man, I would definitely look into getting a loan, a 3.5%, 5% down.
3.5.
Yeah, because don't even talk on that. Like, I would be careful right now taking huge chunks of change and just putting it on one door. Because the thing is, if interest rates keep rising up, you can park it in a property unless, I know if you're going to hold it a long time, but yeah, it also goes if you're going to hold it a long time. You know what I mean? But yeah, the less, the better. Because yeah, the market is definitely shifting. It is definitely a buyer's market, but yeah, the interest rates are a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I wouldn't say, I will look into that because I asked him the same question and he told me because I wasn't going to, because I'd be the primary and she was like the secondary that we couldn't do it. I don't know. Maybe he was lying. I don't know why he would lie. Why would he lie? I mean, what would he get?
I don't know if he would lie
out of making me pay 20% instead of 3%. I would love to pay 3%.
If you put 20% down and give him 20% and another 3%, I'm not saying he would lie, but it makes his loan better.
It makes his loan better?
Yeah, if you're giving him 20% down, makes the loan better, right?
Like I know, but that's a good question. I was gonna Google it too. Well, how much do how these lenders make off of a loan? Off of
I think the origination fee and some points probably, but I think the origination fee. But at the same time, he might not have that loan product available to you. That's why I always say call a bunch of different lenders, because I'm not seeing why, if she's going to be on the mortgage, that you couldn't do 3.5%, 5% down.
Well, here's the thing. The reason I chose this guy, a guest on our show a while back, the dude that did he was the big time into buying condos. Remember, in Dallas, he was the condo buyer. I think he was from Cali originally. But remember that guy? Anyways, so he was big on buying. He's like, oh, right now, houses are too high right now. Buy condos, buy townhomes, whatever. And so whenever a deal came up, we were trying to buy a townhome, and it was going through Wells Fargo, and Wells Fargo was pain in the ass because they can't close on condos and townhomes. They suck, right? So I called him up. I remember I said, you said you have a good lender that can get these condos done, right? Because it's a lot to it. You got to go through the HOA history and all this crap and make sure they're stable. And then, it's a pain in the ass, but he said, yeah, this guy's great. Hit him up. He's out of Austin. And I talked to the guy, and the way he described it was that why he can always guarantee to close on condos is because, well, there are a lot of messed up HOAs out there, right? With like zero money in the bank, and they just suck, right? And anyways, he said that he has investors also, that if he can't get it done like conventionally, he can get the loan done and present it to his investors, and they can back the loan for people. So he has that option too, in case it doesn't close conventionally. Of course, he tries it conventionally first, but if the conventional, the Freddie and Fannie or whatever the hell, they say, oh, there's too much problems with the HOA, we're not gonna, do the loan. Then he has investors that can obviously see he's buying it for $150,000. It's gonna make him $3,000 a month. It's a good deal. You should invest in this. And so that's how he's able to always close these condo deals. So this is a condo, and I was like, well, shit, he's the condo guy. So I was going to use him again. I've already used him on 2 loans, and he's been able to close for me. So I'll check it out. I'll check out other people. I'm like, I get 100 calls. I'll get 100 phone calls a day from fucking lenders. Now you get a ton of phone calls from lenders. I don't know what happened, but my phone is blowing up with lenders, dude.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And buyers, yeah. Not lenders. But yeah,
Rocket Mortgage. You ever done the Rocket Mortgage thing?
No, I've done the Better Mortgage through BiggerPockets on a refi though, and then you started getting those. I got those calls for about a year or so. But honestly, what I'm doing. Oh, also you show up as a buyer. That's probably why in their database. But yeah, word of advice: always shop around with different lenders, especially if you know that you can do 3.5. Yeah, I'd shop that around. But like, hey, can you do this? I like to talk to at least 3 lenders, let's just see what they're offering.
Okay, but then are they going to pull your credit every time?
No, you're just interviewing them about their loan product. I mean, you already know what you want, right? You know that someone's moving in. Just tell them what you want. Like, hey, I'm looking. Hey, me and my partner are buying a house. He's moving into it for a year. She's moving into it for a year. Can we put 3.5% to 5% down? That's simple. Right. So if they say yeah, it's usually a yes or no question. Then a lot of them, I just don't believe I think a lot of them would say yeah. I mean, because it's owner occupied.
Especially right now, man. Lenders and agents are hungry.
Exactly, and that's what I was kind of getting at. They're hungry. So I mean, there should be some loan packages out there.
Blood in the streets, Micah.
Yes, sir. But yeah, that's a good. I like how you did that though. Yeah, because you can get creative, man. It's a lot. I've been listening to a lot of Pace Morby too. Like, yeah, you got to get creative out there, man. Yeah. So, and that was actually the topic of how do you effectively grow your short-term rental business? And Steve just gave you an effective way, man.
Yeah, buy the arbitrage.
There you go. The arbitrage.
Owner occupied would be great too, right?
Yes, sir. Can't beat that. Then when you move out, when Fetty and his move out, you got that 3.5% down. Now you are going to be paying. Well, no. Now this is the only kicker to that. You are going to be paying more on a higher interest rate
and PMI.
Yeah, and PMI.
Yeah, that's the two things.
That's another thing too to look at. See, there's always something you got to look at. So yeah, you may want to. Yeah, you could put the 20% down, grab it, no PMI. Yeah.
And that's the thing too, because they're going to be, paying the note on it while they're there, right? Nothing more. Just pay the mortgage while you're there. No big deal. And it would make it more expensive if we did that 3% route instead of the 20% no PMI and whatever. And so it would make it more expensive for them. Plus we have enough, I mean, knock on wood. Oh, we got to get into something today. Speaking of money, that's one of our favorite topics. So we have enough money in the bank to where we can, especially it's a condo. It's nothing crazy. We're not buying a $400,000 house, right? Yeah. So it's 35 grand chunk, whatever. It's a chunk, but we have good reserves. Anyways, speaking of money in the bank, man, did you happen to see what happened to a good friend of ours, Sarah? She put it out there, so it's not a secret or nothing like that. I'll just say Sarah. Oh. Well, she put on her story. See, Feta sent it to me because I've been off of Instagram like you, and Feta sent me the story, the reels or whatever the hell. You know how she makes the stories, and she said that this happened Friday. So this is a holiday. We're coming off a holiday weekend, right? Mm-hmm. It was Monday everything was shut down. So Friday, I guess towards the end of the day, or I don't know how she explains it on her thing, someone wired from their bank $35,000. They wired it out of her bank, right? And then the bank, before they realize it, the bank closes and they're closed for the weekend. Okay, here's the bad part of this is because they're banking with like a.
And wrench in the story is you just said you're about to put $35,000 on. No, I'm joking.
Nah, no, I was thinking that too. I was like, man, they could have bought a condo with that.
Yeah, go.
It's all perspective, right? But anyways, so they had their money into like a independent small bank, right?
Yeah.
And so, which is great for loans and interest rates and shit like that. You get better, you get some good deals.
Thanks.
And here's the tip of the day. I'll get to it. Well, so they had their money in the small bank, just sitting there until they needed it for the next deal or whatever. And so this small bank does not have 24/7 fraud protection, a line you can call on the weekends, right? Fuck. Plus, they don't have no one they can call on Monday too, because it's a holiday. And they're closed on Monday. So she said, and this is real, she called like 20 different numbers, anything that resembled the number that she can call for them, and they were all nothing. Everything's we're closed, blah blah blah, holiday weekend, we're closed, we'll be back Tuesday. And she pointed it out that a lot of these criminals that do this, they find a way, they forge some emails, they do whatever they got to do, forge some numbers, and they wire money from your account fraudulently. They do it on a Friday, evening going into a holiday weekend, and they like to do it from the small banks because they know that they're not going to be able to, there's no fraud prevention 24/7 like Chase Bank has or Wells Fargo or whoever the hell the big ones have that, right? So there was no way to stop it. And what her biggest fear was, so she's like, probably what they do on when Monday rolls around, they finish the wire in a European bank somewhere, right? Because it's not a holiday over there in Europe. The banks will be open Monday. They'll be able to withdraw that money, Gonski, right? And so by the time Tuesday rolls around, the bank's open again. Then she finally gets to talk to somebody. Then it would be the money's gone already. And she said her fear is that there's no way she's gonna get the money back, even though banks do the insured and all that stuff. But her fear is because it happened this particular way, she's not going to get her money back. We shall see. Hopefully there's a way to get her money back, and or they cover her in some way. Otherwise, I mean, use your platform, because I'd blast the hell out of that bank. So the morals of the story, real quick morals of the story is, yeah, use those small banks. That's fine. Just don't leave your money in there. It's susceptible, right? Put it in a big freaking conglomerate Chase Bank, and that's probably the best place to have it.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, I think you'd be able to get your money back though. That was kind of fear based. That was like, yeah, you can get your money back. That was too. That was a hell of a thought process to go through. I'm like, you just call the bank Tuesday and be like, look, wire fraud. They'll get your money back.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. The way she was explaining it, she was all crying in the video too. She was saying the way it happened is that she don't think they're gonna get the money back.
Yeah, I think you should be able to get your money back if you can prove you didn't send no wire out. If it's what is it? FDIC. Yeah, I think you're good. But yeah, I think she'd be good. But yeah, shout out to Sarah, and hopefully she gets it back. But I'm pretty sure you'll get it back. Now, on to we're at the end of the year, last 3 months of 2022. What are your Q4 goals, man? What are you trying to accomplish for this year?
Put me on the spot, man. Well, that's something we've been thinking about, because we do have, Fede most likely they'll be here. Federico, he'll be here in November, right?
That's what's up.
And so it's he's excited about. We're excited. He's like, man, I can't wait to get there. I got so many things I want to do. Blah blah blah. And so with him being here, I really think we can sit down and do some powwows together and really get the business structured better. It's kind of, I mean, we've gone a lot. We've gotten this far, 70 units under our belt with working apart like this. But I imagine together, we'll be able to really start doing things and getting everything, to run smoother, and getting it, everything in place that we need in place. And so that being said, if we do get this thing totally automated where we're not in the day-to-day operations, we're close. There's 2 other businesses we're really we want to start, and I'll mention the one of them, and that might involve you too, because y'all been wanting to start a cleaning company, right? Like a short-term rental clinic, a real one in Dallas, or this area. And so that's one thing I want to really look at, starting a short-term rental business and a handyman like type business. Maybe it'd be both, kind of like how I forgot what his name. He came on our show. He does it out of Scottsdale. He even does he does the cleaning service handyman type, combo for people in Scottsdale.
His name's missing. I just talked to him like a couple weeks ago, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, something like that for this area would be great. I think it would kick ass.
I think he's in right now.
He's where?
That business model's in Houston, I believe.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good. And there's one other business. I don't know. I won't bring it up on the show, but it's 2 businesses I'm excited about that do. And you say, okay, perfect the one first, and that's what we want to do. But these are businesses that are adjacent to our current business, so I'm excited about that. I don't know about I mean, we want to buy more properties too, and I don't know so much about, because we back in the day. Oh, we want 100 units. Man, we blew out of the water with the last time we set goals, right? I don't know. We said, oh, I want 30 units. I remember you put us on the spot. How many units do you want this year? I said 30.
Yeah.
Why are you gonna do it? I was like, I don't know. And then we ended up with 50 by the end of the year. Now we're like,
fuck how.
Yeah. But now we're realizing it's just not a numbers, picking up crappy units ain't that, just to get a number. That's not a good goal, right? Yeah. You might just be adding a bunch of headaches to your business. And anyways, so that's our goal is to really tackle these two industry adjacent businesses
Mhm.
that we'll have a lot more time to put towards and get everything done logistically. And I'm reaching out to people that have already done something similar. So, just getting the network together and getting it. I think they'll do pretty good business.
Oh yeah, especially if
Oh.
you have a cleaning business. So how are you going to fire yourself?
I'm easy to be fired. I'm easy to be fired. I just the Fede. It's hard. Fede is hard to fire because there's no company without Fede. But he's a freaking beast, man. He that's the part we got to work on, because I was like, dude, if you come here and then you just go start cleaning the apartments because they're not clean enough. I mean, that's not gonna get us anywhere, right? It's not gonna get.
Yeah, if not,
Yeah, just go following behind the cleaners and micromanaging them. Yeah, that's the hard part, is we figure out a system to where FedEx can actually, he's been doing good. He's used that focus advice that you gave me and I gave to him, using that focus button on your iPhone.
Mhm.
And he's been, because and even at times I'm like, hey dude, because I got so used to asking him for whatever. I was like, hey dude, is this person, is this person gonna check in early? Do you know? Because I gotta go run by there for something. And he'll be like, I'm not in the messages. I don't even know. Oh, that's right. You're trying to pull yourself away. Okay. I just got, my bad. I got used to asking you, because you were, every time I jumped on the messages with the other, the VAs, Fede would jump on and answer, right? Because
Yeah.
that's just how he was. He wanted to answer every single question. Now he hits it on focus mode, and he's pulling himself away, and he's getting a lot of bigger things accomplished.
Yeah. After the conference I just went to, that was one thing I had to really focus on, was like removing yourself 100% from your business, and just doing little small tasks here and there, but like mainly making yourself an escalation point. And really, I'm getting to a point where I can just fire myself and have somebody else be the escalation point, like Sean Haley. I love how he brought that up on the last episode. But yeah, that's one thing I had to really realize. You can't grow and be a part of operations. You have to really fire yourself from operations and get and focus down on how you're going to grow. Because like right now we're trying to, we're only buying right now. So like you just have to hone down, you got to hone down, outsource shit. So that's what I've been focusing on, and bringing certain things back that I know can't be outsourced. But right now I'm just taking a risk. Like, look, hey, here's everything. And I have my VA and I'm hiring another one. I just reached out to them today to get another one. So I'll have 2 on 24-hour coverage, and they'll just handle it. So yeah, firing yourself is extremely important, because my Q4 goals, man, is really to try to finish this BRRRR property. And then next year, my goal is to buy 6 houses. So I'm trying to go big, trying to finish it all off. You got to hone in. You can't be in the operations doing that.
Finish it off. And that's something, because I remember when you were going to do that fire sale in Houston, and I was, and I think I asked you, I said, oh, so you're going to go sell all that, or you have to sell all that stuff? He goes, yeah, I'm headed down to Houston for that. And I was like, why are you doing it? I thought you outsourced everything. And you're like, oh no, I'm pulling stuff back now, or something like that. And I was like,
oh yeah, I had stuff I had to grab out of there. I had to grab like my Stay 5 stuff that I want for my next units. So I had to grab all that stuff out, and then I just let somebody come and she bought it all. I was like, bet, bought it. I just grabbed that stuff and we rolled out.
Yeah. Like what was, since, I mean, you went through it. You went through like having a full-time job and doing your businesses and stuff. And then what was the transition to like, okay, you're not working no more at a 9 to 5. Now, how was that transition to just, okay, I'm doing the business full time now?
The transition was easy. It's just a matter of, what are your goals? What are you trying to do? And then having your daily tasks. What are you doing every day to get to your goal? Right. So like every day you have to be doing something to get to your goal. You need to be very focused. I have a thing that I forgot. I don't have the paper anymore because I threw it away, but they were like, don't leave your 9 to 5 if you don't have the hustle and grind mentality to get to where you want to be. You'll know if it's naturally in you. If you wake up early or if you wake up late, whatever, if you know you're in grind mode to get things done and be effective with your grind, you can do it. With me, it was just a matter of, I actually enjoyed it because I could then, because really I realized my job was holding me back. I'm like, damn, I got to go work out and I got to go to my job. I work out now and I come back home, can focus, do my reading, meditation, journaling, and then really just hone in. So, it's just a matter of what are your goals, and is your job holding you back? If it is, then you know what you have to do.
Okay. I guess was it a temptation to start working in the business more since you left your job instead of what the stuff you were outsourcing before while you had a job that you couldn't do?
Yeah, there were certain things I definitely did work in the business for certain things. I was kind of like Fetty, kind of overlooking the VAs instead of just, hey, let them handle it. And like this past weekend, when I went to my mentor's big conference, he was like, you can't serve multiple masters. If you serve multiple masters, you ain't going to get nowhere. You have to be honed in on this is what I want, And that's when he realized this one guy, they just have this thing called the hot seat, right? And all kinds of people are there, multiple business owners, millionaires, all these people. And this one guy got up there and he's a real estate agent and he's a broker, but he was trying to grow his real estate portfolio while also trying to grow his brokerage with new agents. So he really came to a stopping point was he was trying to grow this business and grow this business. So like on the hot seat, he's like, man, you got to stop serving multiple masters. You got to choose what you want. He's like, do you want rental properties or do you want a big agency? He goes, I want rental agents. I want rental properties. So he goes, well, you got to outsource the shit that's holding you back, picking up these agents. Go find an agent, let them recruit for you. You do that, and let that be your brokerage, and you keep on buying rental properties. So that's what I had to realize. I can't be, if you notice, I'm not really active in short-term rental chats that much because I'm like, I do short-term rental. I had to really reevaluate. I'm not a short-term rental Airbnb guy. I just use it as a tool. I'm a real estate investor. That's what I've always been. I kind of got blinded by that. And I'm like, the short-term rental stuff is cool and all that. But I'm like, I'm a goddamn real estate investor. That's what the fuck I do. Like I buy houses, fix them up, get my money back out, and then I'll put it on as a short-term rental and I let it run. But I had to refocus on that.
Yeah, getting that focus, man. Was that guy named David Green, by the way? No, the guy that has the brokerage plus he's
no.
buying properties because that's David Green. He does the same shit, but he's like a big time in Keller Williams, one of the top sellers in the country.
Yeah,
so he's able to juggle all of them, but I'm sure, but he had to put the right people in place, in order to do that because
systems are huge, man. It's huge. You got to have your systems down. So man, firing yourself, that is a tough one, but you gotta let it happen. You gotta do it. And then just let yourself be the escalation point,
And what people don't tell you about systems, man, is like, and we talk about it on this show, is like when you got a company, you start with one unit, you have your systems in place, everything's hunky-dory. Once you get to 5, you're like, oh shit, you got to redo all your systems again. Those same systems don't work for 5 units, and then same when you get to 10 and 20 and 30, it's a whole different company with so much more going on that you have to adjust your systems.
And I'm happy you brought that up. That's actually why I'm scaling down my portfolio. I'm scaling it down to be more effective and productive. So for example, like how you just said, hey man, we all had these goals of getting 100 units. Like that was one thing my mentor said. He goes, I talked to these real estate people. They want 100 fucking doors. He goes, what the fuck do you want 100 doors for? And they come with all this shit. Well, I heard it on BiggerPockets. I want this much cash flow. He goes, okay, you want $20,000 a month in cash flow. He goes, what's the average rent in your area? $2,000 a month. Well, you only knew 10 properties. And they were like, what? He's like, 10 properties. That's $20,000 a month. Pay them all off. That's $20,000 a month for the rest of your life. He goes, you have to refocus on your goals and know how to get to where you want to be. And that's when I was like, damn, man, like, dude was just unlocking shit in you. Like, dude, you have to think. And I'm like, we always want all this huge shit, but it's like, just hone your goals down, get very specific on what you want. Then you can execute on it. Because now you can take those small steps to get there. And so that's why I've been kind of shaving my portfolio down because I'm getting out of arbitrage. And I'm just shaving it down to only own properties. Do I own them? Now, if I own 10 houses, they all bring in $5-6 grand a month. And I'm not even counting that. I'm just looking at the long-term rental numbers on them. I'm good to go. That's all I need.
Mm.
So yeah, it's just about honing in.
So you're the counter opposite of what Sean Rakijic is doing, because he don't own nothing, arbitrage everything.
Yeah.
You don't want to arbitrage nothing. You want to own everything.
Yeah, I'm moving into ownership for sure.
But he does have an ownership goal, and you'll hear that we're editing that podcast now. It's a beast. But he does have an arbitrage goal. I'm sorry, a purchasing goal, ownership goal is to buy like a 100-unit complex somewhere.
Yeah,
right? That's cool, because he knows exactly how to make that $100 property sing, how to crank out the profits, because that's what he's been doing. He's been buying chunks of these buildings already.
Basically, yeah, exactly. So
I mean, arbitraging these chunks of buildings, but still,
basically how he presents it to the seller, and y'all got to definitely check that out.
You got to give him props. Can we talk about arbitrage versus owning versus whatever? He chose one thing and he figured out how to be the best he could be at that one thing, right?
Yep.
And that's what they talk about. And then so many of us are juggling so many things. Yeah, they flow together a little bit, right? Arbitraging versus rent versus managing versus ownership. And we're kind of we're juggling a few things. And but he chose, okay, I'm gonna be the best in the world at arbitrage, and then I'm gonna put my team in place to, I'm gonna put everything in house. And I have my cleaners in house. They're gonna work for me. I'm gonna have my handyman in house. They're gonna work for me. I'm gonna have my assistants go and find the arbitrages, close the deals, put it under the company. It runs itself. Yeah,
you have to know what it is that you want to do and focus on that singularly. One thing this conference I was at, this dude, he don't buy no properties, right? He wholesales everything. He don't give a shit if it's a good smoking hot deal. He'll wholesale it. His wholesale business brought him $4 million last year. He netted $1 million. So I was like, damn. But he was singularly focused. He goes, I know other people had more net worth than me. He goes, now I'm buying because my wife's pregnant with kids. So I got to buy properties, But he goes, I have so many connections from wholesaling. It's going to be easy. Plus, I know how to find the deal because I've been wholesaling everything for the last X amount of years. So when you hone in and just singularly focus on one thing, you can blow it out of the water, man. Yeah, and there's no one way to do it. I think we talked about that with David Menzel. There's no one right way to do it. You have to look at your own goals and be singularly focused on what your goals are and where you're trying to get.
That's powerful, man. Yeah. Because I mean, yes, people say you're wholesaling or you're flipping, you're paying all these taxes, right? And then you're not building any equity. There's always those arguments. And you're hustling. You gotta freaking hustle like a motherfucker. And wholesaling ain't easy. It sounds easy. Everybody wants to try it because it takes, I can start doing real estate with no money of my own. No, it's easy. Let's do it. You knocked on doors back in the old. Remember you said you tried wholesaling a long time ago, and
I wholesale now.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wholesale. Okay.
I remember before, like I asked before, Airbnb or short-term rentals. You said you tried it for a little while, and then you got away from it because it was like it wasn't fruitful for you.
Yeah, didn't have the systems down. Now I have the systems. I'll wholesale a deal that I don't want. I'll wholesale it. Like right now, we're actually doing quite a bit of wholesaling. We're more or less looking wholesale, stack up a certain amount so we can start buying doors. Because next year, we want to be, by Q2 next year, we want to be just buying. Like we're trying to get 6 BRRRR properties done next year. Crazy ass goal, but we got to go for it. Go big or go home.
No, go for 10.
6.
Then you'll fail and get 6.
Yeah. The reason why I don't want 10 because I I just need 6 more houses. That's all I need to start my pay down of them.
Nice.
My goal was 2 per year. I'm like, fuck it, in a year.
Since you said, well, you still do short-term rentals.
Yeah.
And so who does your pricing?
My pricing?
Yeah.
I just train my VA on how to do it. And one now at this point, actually, I have a Price Labs actually does most of it for us. The only thing he does is just sets up rule sets. That's already predefined.
Okay.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, I outsourced that too because that was one thing I was looking at when he was talking. I was like, let me outsource this pricing shit. So
how's that work for you? The outsourcing the pricing?
Been working great. He's got a lot of good reservations in Dallas. But yeah, it's been working great.
Okay. because that's one of the things with Federico. He's all over the pricing, right? Because he especially when it started to dip in September, he went in there and overhauled all the pricing, tried all this new stuff, and so that's going to be hard for him to give up to someone else. Because when I found this new unit, and and got it to the cleaner because she wanted another unit, and I was like, it was a nice unit. I knew it was going to be profitable, right? And the price point was good, but I just I didn't feel like spending money on getting another arbitrage for us. So I was like, okay, I'll let her have it. And I told Federico about it, and he's like, oh, but I thought we were going to start to stay away from the 1-bedrooms or whatever. I was like, well, it's a good deal. I found it's a good deal. Don't worry. I think it's going to profit. And he said, oh, he goes, and he said, yeah, he said something like, it's like, yeah, but it's more work for me. And I thought about and I was thinking, I didn't say nothing back. I was like, yeah, because he said, because I have to worry about filling it. He has to fill it up. And what he means by that is adjusting the pricing to get people in there and all that stuff. I'm like, man, you can't. You got to outsource that somehow. I don't know. I know you don't trust anybody with the toys.
And it's crazy, like you just said. Like Sean's the last episode with Sean is that's all he picks up is 1-bedrooms. He only picks up 2 bedrooms if they can get him down to a 1-bedroom price.
1-bedroom price.
It's so crazy. Like with arbitraging, like I love the way Sean does it. Like, are you guys now starting to implement that on your arbitrage deals? Like, hey, give me 3 weeks free.
I haven't, not to that extent. I did get a month free with this one, so it was 4 weeks.
But 4 weeks, that ain't bad.
It's 4 weeks, but yeah, but it was. I asked, of course, she didn't offer it right away. I said, "Can I get some kind of promotion? I got other places with you," and she said, "Oh, I'll give you a month free, and spread it over the lease." I was like, "Okay, that's cool." And so, yeah, just by asking, you get, but I haven't been into the.
Well, she spread it over the lease, though, right?
Just spread it over the lease, which is same thing. I mean, well, it just lowers the rent a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And so,
but yeah, go ahead.
No. So I haven't got to the point where, because, man, that's the thing. That's the thing, because yeah, I like how he does it. He does it, and he picks them up in bulk, and he can do 10 or 20 at a time or 50 at a time. And think about that. How much money does he have to furnish 50 units at a time, right?
Then he's doing $1,200 a door.
Do what?
He said he's doing $1,200 a door.
No, that was a unique situation. He did say that he picked up a handful in Austin, and the reason it was $1,200 a door because he was able to rent the furniture. That's how he did it. But he said, a normal studio, whatever, $5 or $6 grand, $7 grand to do like a studio, right?
Yeah.
A studio or 1-bedroom, similar. And so imagine that, the $5 grand times 50. What's that? How much that? That's a lot of money.
In 5,000, so
$25,000. No, 5 times 50 is $250,000, right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Is it?
Is my math off? Okay, 50 units times 5,000 is $250,000. I don't got $250,000 sitting around that I could go do 50 units tomorrow. Yes, you better get some fucking free rent if you're gonna pick up 50 units from a place. I understand.
Yeah,
I'm not at that point yet. I'm still picking up a couple units here, a couple units there. I get a little bit of, a few weeks free. Yeah, I don't get the 10 weeks free or whatever. Like he's saying that he can get sometimes. But at the same time, if I know it's a good deal and a good location and the rent's priced right, I'll pick it up because it's a good addition to our portfolio.
Yeah, I was just wondering because, man, he blew my mind with how he's arbitraging. I was like, damn, I would arbitrage your way too. I like how you're doing it, because he was killing it. But yeah, and I love how he's razor focused. And I'm actually going to read the book he suggested, Traction. So yeah, he's razor focused. You got to be all the way dialed in. And so that's how I am right now too. Just focus on where you're trying to go and your goals, So
I wonder if he puts some of his students in those, like a big 50 unit pickup, if he puts some of his students on those units too. Possibly
could. That would be a good thing to do. Yeah, man. Because man, it's the short-term rental space is very interesting right now. I'm still in it, but I'm more or less trying to get into houses into the short-term rental space, which is what I like, and build the equity at the same time. But man, it's very interesting, and I was at the conference I was at. That's something that people were talking about. Hey, getting real heavy into Airbnb and stuff. And some people were in there. I talked to a few people. They're like they're buying bad deals, but I'll just Airbnb it. I'm like, I wouldn't do that. I mean, seriously. I mean, you got to look at it from the standpoint of if it ain't going to make long-term rent, especially with interest rates rising, something goes wrong. Unless you're in a place where you're already safe and all the regulations are in place. But there's going to be still another fallout because short-term rentals are so new. Airbnb, I'm going to say. I'm not going to say short-term rentals, but Airbnb is like so new and the shiny object that people are just hopping in it. And I'm just like, it's going to be some opportunities for it, though, like for people picking up units.
Here's the crazy situation because speaking of like it's the new thing everybody's talking about. I remember in the early days, BiggerPockets was dogging on Airbnb, right? Well, why the hell would I Airbnb a place? I could just throw it and get monthly rent and not do nothing. I don't want to be answering phone calls at 2 a.m. Anyways, so now they've changed their tune. They talk a lot about Airbnbs, and the host of the BiggerPockets Rookie show, they do Airbnb too. Mm-hmm. They do short-term rentals. Yeah. And I think and David Green and the other guy, of course, what's his name? Rob Built, whatever. Yeah. The co-host of the big.
I haven't watched that. I haven't been listening to.
Well, that's what he does. He's an Airbnb big time. That's his number one thing. But he builds these freaking crazy looking, tree houses and modern, teepees, and he does all this crazy stuff. And then Airbnbs them. That's what he does.
I gotta listen to him then, man, because I've been listening to the Rookie show because he talks more about short-term rentals. I know the new guy does.
Yeah, Rob Built. Yeah, that's his name. And he and then he got David Green. Now they do deals together and they're doing Airbnbs. So it's a big thing, and I think they do more vacation rental places.
That's where a lot of confusion is starting to happen, right? A lot of people don't understand a vacation rental market from a metro market, and they're just hopping into some shit and like they get shut down and they're with this shithole deal, and they're stuck on Airbnb. They don't understand you're in the short-term rental space. You can rent to travel nurses, to insurance companies. Like that's one of my VA's main tasks right now is he's getting us listed on 30 insurance company sites right now. You know what I mean? So it's so many things that you don't know. People are just hopping into Airbnb and man, it's looking like a doom ending because I'm like, man, y'all hopping into these places where regulations can come and it's over with, So yeah, telling people be careful because you got to understand. And that's one thing I noticed people don't go into is like knowing the type of market you're in, like a vacation rental market. They usually already have regulations in place. Just metro markets, it's still new. So just be very careful running your numbers.
Yeah, but like you said, if they have regulations in place already, boom,
yeah, you're good.
Good thing. Go for it. So what are we talking about? We're talking about
Rob Built and the BiggerPockets crew, and I think Sean made a video about that too, about the BiggerPockets people going into the whole Airbnb thing and giving some very stringent advice that I agreed with Sean on. Like, yeah, you got to be careful doing that. But yeah.
What did he say about it?
He was basically saying these people who are in the real estate space, most of them who want to do Airbnb, right? Like they pick up this property that probably isn't going to cash flow anyways. And then he goes, then they're going to go and hire a management company taking 20%. And he goes, you're already, management company taking 20%. You probably ain't making no money anyway. So you're probably going to be pissed off and say Airbnb doesn't work. So yeah, that's what he was saying. And I was like, yeah, I agree. Because all of us, we all self-manage, or like you're a management company. So yeah.
Well, what I told, that's the thing. And that's come into play before because we're a management company. Mm-hmm. So we already have in-house everything. We don't have to pay 20% to a management company to manage our units. And so a lot of times if there are some clients that their units are struggling for whatever reason and they want to get out, I mean, we'll always examine it and say, okay, it's not profiting for them because on top of, they might be profiting, but then our 20% chunk, sometimes things don't work out and they're not patient enough to let the place get traction, reviews, and all this stuff. They start panicking right away. So there's always an option. Would you like to sell it to us? and we'll take it over. That's all we always keep that on the board. But anyways, aside from that,
hey, he doesn't offer, hey, you guys can manage it yourself, we'll just take it over. That's why they call him Stevie Stacks.
No, man, I ain't trying to screw our clients.
Oh boy, just kidding. The clients are listening.
That's a good point. No, our clients are busy motherfuckers, right? Yeah. So they don't want to deal with the shit we got to deal with. They see the comment. What are they? Excuse me. They see the communications. They see all the stuff going on. They see all the. I mean, if anything's broken at these units, excuse me, we filed every single claim. They see what we do, and they don't want to do it, and that's fine. And if they want to just get out, that's fine. We can help them get out too, exit, and then amicable exit. That don't happen. A lot of companies don't offer that. But anyways, aside from that, like I have buddies at work that are getting into the game, right? Getting into the short-term rental game, and a buddy of mine is in one of these cities close by that they just decided to start doing regulations, and you have to do permits, right? I won't say what city, I won't say what buddy, but anyways, I told him, yeah, we have a place in that city too. We went ahead and did everything correctly. I said you should go ahead and sign up and get the permit. He's been doing it for a few months now. Said, yeah. He keeps saying my wife's handling that. I'm like, you go in the computer, and 10 minutes you'll have the guy, you fill out everything. The guy will go over and inspect it, and then you get it, get the permit. I'm telling you, because you don't want to start getting these fines from the city, right? Yeah. Once they start doing that, then they can start fining you, which is what Grand Prairie did. And plus, they're going to want you to pay. The longer you do it without signing up and getting the permit, the more back taxes are going to pile up. You're going to have to pay these taxes while you were operating. I'll tell you off air. I'll tell you off air. I just don't want the city hunters to go after people in this city. Podcast. Hey, remember when they started going after us? We were like, man, I wonder if they listen to the podcast.
Listen to the podcast. Is it in Texas?
Yeah, it's in Texas. I'll tell you after. I'll text it to you. But anyways, so. But the other thing I was worried about, because he told me, his calendar, he showed me like, oh yeah, every time I ask him, oh yeah, it's doing really good for us. Really good? How good? So, most of the weekends are booked. I was like, okay, that tells me right there, okay, you're just getting weekends booked. You're not getting the midweeks. I said, there's a lot, I was telling him there's a lot to this. I said, what you should do, sit down and do all the numbers, because for a 3-2 right now, you could probably get, $2,000 to $2,500 a month, just as a long-term rental. Whereas short-term rental, maybe you'll get to that 3,000 point or more if you know what you're doing, but you got to discount the cleaning fees, you got to discount the taxes from the state and the city, right? And you got to discount this. And I was telling them in the supplies. So you just sit down and do the math and make sure this is right for where your place is. If you're just getting weekends booked, you're probably not hitting the marks that you want to be hitting, right? And so I'm starting to tell people it really got out of whack when rents started skyrocketing, right? And it started skyrocketing. And then we were used to making our Airbnb numbers. And I was like, holy crap, it's almost to the point where it's easy. It's better to do it long term without any of the headaches, without any of those taxes, state and city, and without any of the permits you got to get. I was like, it got out of whack, but rents are starting to, like as Sean said, rents are starting to fall back down to where, okay, it's more attractive to do short-term rentals now instead of just throwing the house as a long-term rental, getting $25,000 to $3,000 a month. Houses, man. Yeah, I know. The thing is
going down.
It's going down now. I've seen them falling, especially from the ones like First Key and all those people that gobbled up a bunch of houses and turned them into rentals. They're starting to drop their prices, but they shot them up astronomically high.
That's why BRRRR sub 2, man. You can keep your rent high because you're getting your money back on the rehab. That's why I'm like, that's the reason why I like houses, because of one, I can price the rent high because the rent's coming to me anyway, as long as it's market, But it's not of these big conglomerates. Yeah, they're starting to lower. Plus, so as soon as crap anyway.
So as soon as all your leases are done and your arbitrages, you're pulling everything out.
Depends on how many units I've acquired that are mine. Yeah, depends on how many units I've acquired that are mine. So once if I have my 6 houses, then yeah, I won't need any more places.
How many arbitrages you got left?
5.
That's it.
Yep, 5 left.
And you're not looking for no more.
Nope. No more arbitrages.
Singular.
It would have to be, yeah, even if it was a hell of a deal, I might flip the lease to somebody. Make a quick 1,200. You can have it.
Yeah. That's happening right now, man.
Oh, I think Sean just made a video. He's making $1 million leasing flipping leases. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not, at this point, I'm not, just because of my own singular goals, like what I want. You know what I'm saying? I want to be, by the time I'm 40, I want to be retired, where I'm just doing whatever, freedom, option, and choice, where I can do whatever I want when I want.
Yeah.
And
then the business runs itself.
Yeah. In 7 years. And then that's maybe when you guys will catch me back on Instagram and stuff, creating my, like, you know, like a mentorship program for people
on
that
the beach.
On the beach, for people that want to, you know, own properties and, you know, get out of the rat race. So yeah, that's 7 years. And I was like, I have to be singularly focused on what I want for those 7 years.
By the way, congrats to downtown Mikey Brown for getting buying a duplex.
Oh, he did.
He bought a duplex.
Man, congrats to him, man. I haven't been able to really talk to nobody, man. But that's congrats, man. That's what's up. So is he living in one?
Well, he's I don't think they moved into it yet. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna live in one side and then fix it up while they're living there and rent out the other side as the long term.
That's what's up.
And then when he moves out after a year, then he's gonna, you know, fix up both sides to do short-term rentals on both sides.
Let's go.
Yeah, man.
I love that. Gotta get it. Cool. Yeah. Own the property, man. That's the way to do it.
That's cool. He's got a wife to support him to let him take them to live in a duplex, especially with a baby on the way, right?
Yeah. Gotta marry the right one.
That's the thing, man. So many of my buddies are like, "Oh, my wife, I want to do real estate, but my wife, man, she's too afraid of it." Blah 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 blah. And so I'm like, man, I guess we and you lucked out that our wives are cool, and they let us, they encouraged us, they helped us, and you know, I would say.
Word of advice to the fellas, man. It's the easiest way to find something like that. Find someone who's comfortable living outside their comfort zone. Then it's easy. Quit marrying someone who went to high school 45 minutes away from where they grew up. They aren't comfortable outside of their comfort zone. So when you marry someone outside of their comfort zone, doing different things is easy for them because that's how they had to survive to get to where they are.
Side note, Micah's not telling you to divorce the chick you're with now.
If y'all don't have no assets together anyway, I mean, it makes it a little bit easier. No,
no kiddos, no assets.
No, yeah, you ain't got shit anyway. Hell, you ain't got no. I'm not. I'm joking. I'm not advocating for that, but I'm just saying, you know, that's just for the people that, you know, that aren't married and are looking for someone. Hey, I want to grow this with. Find someone who's just, you know, comfortable being uncomfortable.
Oh yeah. One thing on that note of long-term rentals being more lucrative than short-term rentals, because when the rents were shooting up, like I said, going back to the BiggerPockets thing, you know, Ben Leibovich, he was on the show a bunch of times back in the early days of BiggerPockets, and he's still a contributor. He still writes articles. He writes his articles are great, but he's a big syndicator.
Okay.
So they put together apartment deals. You know, of course, they raise money. They have funds, Fund A, Fund B, all these different funds, and then they buy these apartment buildings that were built in the 90s or later. He don't go for the older ones anymore because it's just not worth it. And then he makes them look, you know, beautiful. Puts in a pool, puts in a badass front office, and he fixes them up, and then he renovates them inside and out, and then he you know, rents them out, you know, long term. But I'd always gone back and forth with him and Facebook and then Messenger. You know, I'd send him some things on some of the articles he wrote, and he's always been a real cool guy, responsive to me. One day I was chilling I was in my backyard one morning on a Saturday morning or something by the pool, and just out there hanging out and drinking my coffee, and I sent him a message that from one of his posts, and he called me on on Messenger video call, right? Oh shit, Ben Leibovich, that's crazy. Bigger Pockets. Ben, he's a multimillionaire, fucking, slinging. He's like he does what's his name does cash flow guy. What's the fuck's his name? 10x cash flow guy. Whatever.
Grant Cardone.
Yeah, same concept. Big apartment buildings, fixes them up, flips them. He keeps a chunk of the money for himself. Blah blah blah. And I was like, well, he goes, because he said, oh, this new place is up and running. Let me know if anybody's interested in renting a place here. Blah blah. And I was like, I'll take you 10 units to do Airbnb or whatever. I just threw that out there. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think he was going to respond. And he called me. He's like, okay, well, hey Steve, I just wondering, I want to know what your business model is. And he started getting into the, how would this benefit me that you would take 10 units from me and then do short-term rentals? I was like, well, yeah, put me on the spot. I'm sipping my coffee, and I'm like, well, okay, I guess one way to do it, I could pay, a little bit more over the rent that you're offering. I'm not offering to do it. I wasn't offering to do it. He was saying, how would this benefit him?
I know, but you went straight in, and how would it benefit him? Easy. You give me 10 units. You got to lease this place up, right?
But his argument was, he goes, I'm gonna put all these to. This is the height of the economy is doing great, and interest rates are low, and everybody's paying a shitload for rent because they can charge shitload for rent, and everything's filled up 100%, right? It's easy for these apartments. He's out there in Phoenix. And he said, he goes, as soon as I get these renovated and rented out, he goes, I'm going to have too many people applying, and they're going to pay top of the market rent. So why? I don't understand. He goes, I guess I could understand. Like he said that if I needed units filled and I couldn't fill them, and someone like you came along, that would make sense. But right now, I don't see a good argument for me to allow anybody to do short-term rentals at my places since they're 100% full, and I'm getting the top of the market rent on all of them. And I'm like, I thought about that. I was like, you're right. You're absolutely right. Why would you even mess around with somebody that's going to go in there and put Airbnb people in there and risk pissing off the people that are there long term? And then, why? I said, you're absolutely right. There's no, as the economy is right now, there's no reason for it. Right. Yeah. But, and then I thought about it, but that's not always the case for these apartment buildings. I mean, think about it back in the day, back in 2000 or so. I mean, how many apartments were offering 2 months free rent, 3 months free rent, free big screen TV if you signed up and all this stuff, right? I mean, back then, it isn't always, hunky dory for these apartment complexes, is it?
I think you would have had the upper hand. You should have played with them and said, hey, what if I get 40 units? I'm curious, just to kind of play with them and see, hey, what if I got 40? But it's a really good book. I forgot the name of it. I just read. But it's a book on negotiation, because even if supposedly he could get those units filled that quickly, how fast can he truly get them filled? People coming in, putting in applications, getting the money, all that down. You still have bargaining power.
No, I know. I wasn't prepared for it. Whatever. I wasn't prepared to battle. This at 8 a.m. Anyways, one thing though that he did mention is even if you did take a big chunk of my units, he goes, that's not good for me either, because his whole plan is go in there, buy this place for whatever, I don't know, 1.5 million, put in another $1 million into it, make it look badass, right? And then go get it an evaluation to get it a refinance and pull all their money out and then some, refinance it and say now it's worth 5 million, so they're going to pull all their money back out. He goes, Fannie and Freddie, they still don't like short-term rentals, and I can't have a certain percentage over, in short-term rentals if I'm going to go and refinance. So he goes, unfortunately, that even if you took a whole bunch of our units and say, oh, this is great, we're renting all of our units, that doesn't work for us, because our end goal is to refinance this through Fannie, Freddie, whatever, and pull all of our money back out, and then
But there shouldn't be no short-term rentals on the book. What short-term rentals are on the books?
He says they're getting pretty advanced in finding these things.
What short-term rentals are on the books for the lender? None. because I'm renting it out on a master lease. So you'd be like, short-term rental. I mean, that's just what I do.
Okay, I see your argument, but
You
he
know.
doesn't want to risk a fraud case with
Yeah.
with the government.
If you're putting them on, see, and that's what I tell people. That's why I like houses, because you get to the point with a house, you ain't got to put it on Airbnb. You get your Hostfully, you can just block it from Airbnb and focus on insurance clientele. That's what I was saying. Like, that's why I have my guy right now. His whole focus right now is to list on. I think we have like 40 to 60 insurance platforms that we're listing on, because at the end of the day, and I see this happening. I was just talking to my good friend Josh about this. I think Airbnb is saturated. Airbnb is saturated, but short-term rentals is not. So it's like people are rushing to get on Airbnb and be a number, when instead you can go straight to the source and be the guy, right? That's what I want for my company. Be the source for all the insurance clients that are coming to this area. And then we just start circling leads like that. You know what I mean? Because then if you tell them, hey, because your goal, if you could do this, would be even better. I ain't even got to be on Airbnb. If you could tell him that we're not on Airbnb, we service this clientele, kind of like the Jay Massey model.
Mm-hmm.
In the Noble model. Hey, I service this clientele, and this is the clientele that's coming. Because a lot of these guys, these bigwigs, they're getting off Airbnb. You know?
Now, to me, and I guess Sean alluded to it too, right? The people, let's people that fix these. There are people that fix these apartment complexes up, make them nice, double and triple in value, whatever, and they sell them right off to whoever, and then whoever buys it is going to just sit there and keep it as a long-term play, right? To add to their portfolio, either I don't know, whatever investors want that in their portfolio. But anyways, so those type of investors, where they're not trying to refi through Fannie and Freddie and all that shit, and they just want to fill rooms, that would be a good play for them. And that's probably where Sean's, going towards right now. The people who are at 60% capacity and they need units filled, and he's picking them up left and right.
Yeah. See, it's just so many ways to look at it, man. So many ways to skin a cat. But yeah, that would have been a good conversation to have, if he was just like, hey, I don't want to do that, that would have been a good chance to just kind of play with it and kind of see also how he's looking at it from the outside perspective of short-term rentals. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like how he's kind of looking at it like, well, but you kind of play with it and see how you could really make it beneficial to him. Sorry, I've been reading a lot of negotiation books this year. Go for no.
So how's the negotiating books helped your negotiating? What have any examples?
Not really negotiating, but yeah, I guess you could call it negotiating, like talking to sellers, potential sellers. I've been talking to this guy who, dude, he's trying to for sell by owner his house. He told us he wanted $330 for it. We went and looked at it. We told him, hey, we can't give you $330. We didn't give him a number either, because we knew $330 was just crazy outrageous, and I didn't want to deliver the like blow of this house ain't worth $330. So we left. He immediately texts back, hey, I'll go down to $300,000.
God damn, just like that.
Yeah, just like that. After we walked off, and then I talked to his wife. Mahogany was like talking to his wife, and like we were getting the motivation. Like his wife wants to get the hell out of here. It's him that's holding it up. And she even said it. She goes, he wants $330. I'll she didn't say the number. She goes, she kind of didn't want to piss him off, but she was sitting there smoking a cigarette. She goes, he wants $330. I just want to get out of here. Like she knows the house ain't worth $330. So we hit him up a couple of days ago. Hey, sell your house yet? Just kind of test the water. She's like, no, I'm willing to go down to $280. So
damn.
Yeah. So I was like, so we texted, we hit him back. We're like, so I didn't send him a number. I was like, what made you come down to $280? And I'm going to call him. I'm just supposed to call him back tomorrow. Goes dead silent. He doesn't want to reveal his motivation, but I'm pretty sure it's his wife. Happy wife, happy life. So so I already know. I'm like, okay, we can keep riding this coattail. But it's just a matter of finding motivation, finding ways to where you both win. But mainly, if you can be quiet and just listen to people, they'll tell you their pain points.
You have that book on your shelf, probably. Never Split the Difference. Do you have that book?
That's the book I was looking for when you were saying that's the book you got to read. Never Split the Difference.
They had that guy on BiggerPockets a while back, a long time ago, and he was just so cool the way he was talking. I don't know if you heard that episode, but he just I mean, it's just mostly just listening and just like he didn't throw no numbers around. He's talking to he goes, for example, I'm gonna go in to buy this house and the guy wants 500 grand. I was like, is that the best you can do? He just asked him like that. He goes, maybe 490, 490, huh? Is that really the best, the best you can do? And he just, okay, I could do four. He didn't even say a number. He's not even countering him or nothing. He's just letting the dude just I guess I could do a little better. Just puts it in his head, right? I was like, oh man, that's just I forgot what phrase it was. Something like this.
Go for no.
Is it do what?
Go for no, and that's when the negotiation starts.
Oh,
yeah, I was at this real estate event with this guy named Gonzalo. The dude I was telling you, he makes $4 million wholesaling, right? He goes, he basically goes for no. He gives them the shittiest offer that he can think of, and he told me how he does it. He basically, when he's talking to a seller, he'll go on Zillow, right? He'll look up the Zillow price, and he'll slash 60% off of it immediately. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, and I tell him that number. He goes, if they say yes, I know we have a wholesale deal. He goes, if they say no, that's when I negotiate. I was like, oh, you want, because if you say a bullshit number, they're now going to start talking to you.
No, I was afraid if you go too low, you'll offend them and say, fuck you, I ain't gonna even talk to you,
I ain't never seen the property yet. Well, then you can say, well, hell no, I don't want that. Well, let's take a look at your property. Is it worth more than this? Now you can start, that's when you start opening up conversations and doors. Because when he said that to me, man, I was like, you do what? He goes, yeah, I just slash 60% off whatever Zillow says. Because then he knows it's a good deal for him. But if, so I'm like, you ain't even running comps. Hell no, I don't run comps until I know we have a deal. And I know what this house looks like. I'm like, So yeah, it's some people who do some crazy shit out here. So yeah, negotiation is huge, man.
That is smart. That is smart. And that reminds me of the going back to Bigger Pockets. One of the things that he got it from that book or from another book about negotiating. He always ask for a discount. He goes, wherever you go, even he goes, you go to Starbucks, ask, hey, can I get 10% off? And they're like, why? Is it these guys are millionaires doing this? He goes, it's not just to get 10% off. It doesn't freaking matter. It's just to keep working on that negotiating skill wherever you go. Yep. He goes, a lot of times you get it. A lot of times you go to Home Depot, you go to wherever, and you get a discount just by asking.
Straight up, you will.
And I've done that too before. I started using that more and more, man. I'm like, damn, I'm just getting these deals. I forgot where it was the other day. It was like at a freaking oil change place or something like that.
Yeah.
And they had this, I went over there and said, oh, by the way, he goes, oh yeah, we could no, they're checking the AC on the car. He said, yeah, we could do that. It's going to be like 200 something, blah, blah. I was like, oh, do y'all happen to have any coupons or any specials going around? He said, oh, let me check online. Boom. Oh yeah, there's a half off coupon right here online. And I was like, if I wouldn't have asked, I would just pay the 200. And most people are just going to pay the 200 something bucks, right? But I got it for like $99 because I asked. And I'm like, I need to keep reminding myself to ask everywhere I go. That's a lot of money you're going to be saving.
For real. Because and it's funny. The guy who told me the 60% off the Zillow price, I had the same mindset. I'm like, well, damn, because most we can give this guy for this damn house, because like it's just work that needs to be done. He ain't updated it shit since the 70s. So I'm like, the most I can give this guy is 220. So my guy I was talking to, who's like, he goes, since it's already for sale by owner, he goes, just keep talking to him because you don't want to deliver that 220 blow. But I'm like, I might have to deliver that $200,000 blow and then, and see and then start negotiating from there, and then my friend, she was like, me and Mahogany's friend, Jessica, she was like, don't worry, I'll call him and offer him 190. So your 200 looks like a good deal. It's like, yeah, I guess you could do that. But yeah, you gotta go for that low number, man. And then you start the negotiation phase.
I like that. Negotiations start at no.
Yeah. Negotiation starts at no.
All right, get y'all's monies out of those small banks, y'all. This has been a great show. Episode 226 in the books. Heavy on the buying side this episode. Sorry about that. If you're in short-term rentals, buy them and turn them into short-term rentals. We don't give a fuck.
I am arbitrage them, well, we talked about arbitrage like I know you probably enjoyed Sean's last episode, but yeah, thank y'all for listening to us, and we'll definitely be back with the heat.
Go
ahead, Steve.
I did enjoy Sean's episode because it's just hearing from someone that's like you said, single focused on the one thing, to be the best at the one thing, to pull himself out of the business. That's the ultimate goal, right?
Straight up,
Micah, man.
Get yourself out that business, man.
Yeah, get yourself out of there. Fire yourself today.
Straight up, fire yourself.
Argisrentals.com. Argist is the largest. Airbnb.com. Stay with Micah and one of his beautiful places. Not with Micah, but
No. Instead of Airbnb.com, go to Airbnb.com if you have some houses for sale. If you have a shitty property you need to get rid of, a neighbor that has a shitty property, all across Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington, Mansfield, Grand Prairie, holla at me.
He'll give you $220.
Yeah, $220. 50% of what Zillow said.
Well, cool. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you on the flip side.
Yeah, see you on the flip side. Oh, yeah. Remember, subscribe, join the email list, and hit the subscribe button and leave us a review. We love the reviews. And find us on Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. We're both taking a hiatus from social media right now, but you will find some good content there. So we are out.
Peace.
Later.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Live, Let, Thrive. Be sure to tune in next week for all the latest in the world of Airbnb and all that entails. Bye-bye.